go. Feel free to, obviously, you don't need to use your camera if you don't want to, but just to let you know, we will do a proper introduction welcome as we just give a moment or two. I'm still seeing people waiting in the waiting room, so they're probably still coming into the conference and then trying to find their room. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up on the screen first. There's an app which I would like to invite you to download that would be of help for you in our time together, as well as for your enjoyment at the end of our time. I'm also going to put in the chat a link. Here we go. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to move that out of the way. There we go. So the app here is the augmented reality app. Good to see you, Alex. Well done for joining us this morning. Thank you very much for everyone to join us. Just while we wait for everyone to come in, I just want to give you the chance to download this app for you, which is the MGAR app. And this gives you the free Easter resource that you've seen on the video for you to enjoy with your young people. It's a completely free app to download. And in the chat, which we've just put in there, and I'll put it again in the chat, hopefully. Oh dear, here we go. Hopefully, when I put everyone in the chat, yeah, it's just this room, that's fine. I'm just realizing I didn't want to be chatting to other people's rooms. This link here, if you click on this link, there is a PDF download which you can download as well. So for your enjoyment later, you can enjoy taking part in this. Again, I'm just going to give a few more moments for those who are struggling to work out how to do the breakout room. We'll just start. I'm seeing more people are joining the wait-out room at the moment, so we'll just give a moment. Unmute yourself, do share where you're from, and feel free to use the chat function as well. It'll be lovely to see where you are. Who wants to jump up on their mic first and just say where they are and who they are?
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm one of the centenary project workers for the Diocese of Sheffield. I work for the Rivers team.
Brilliant.
And that's who I am.
Thank you, Sarah. Great to see you.
I'm Diane. I'm a children and family worker. I'm the centenary project team as well. I work in Arsley and Durnscow in South Yorkshire.
Fantastic. Great.
I'm Alex. I'm a youth and children's minister at St Timothy's Church in Crooks. I'm also a primary school teacher.
Fantastic. Feel free, keep going. Liz, Ali, where are you guys from?
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a school chaplain at a local secondary school. I have been a teacher for decades, and I do some youth work at our church.
Brilliant.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm Associate Vicar at Rotherham Minster and St Paul's Masborough.
Fantastic. Great. Well, it's really great to see you all. I'm going to start the official welcome because they want us to record this so that it's a good place to know where they can cut straight in. So if you feel that you would like to keep your camera on, that's absolutely fine. All being well, I'm hoping that they're just going to record just my face, but I realise that might not always be the case, but they can work it out in the technical world. Okay, let's start. Hello, I'm Ben. It's a joy to be with you. I am the founding director of Missional Generation, and today we're looking at the idea of reconnecting to your schools using digital innovation, using virtual reality and augmented reality. And it's a joy to be able to walk you through some examples of how the secular world are using augmented reality and virtual reality to communicate brand, but also a great way to communicate with you guys on how the idea of digital innovation can help you guys to connect with your schools. So as you can see on the screen, if you're watching this now or watching it on the recording sort of reload, you can access a free Easter resource by downloading our augmented reality app. Search in the App Store MGAR, and there's a web link that will be available on our website where you can type in missionalgen.co.uk/Easter-interaction. And this gives you the chance to explore a little bit of the Easter story. I'm just going to stop my screen sharing to make sure I can say hello to my guys in the room. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Forgive me if I'm going to be looking at you here and then up here, because I've got a screen here that allows me to see you guys a little bit more in our time together. There's going to be some slides that we're going to show with you throughout the time together, but also I've got some PDF downloaded options for you. So I'm just going to stick in the chat now for you guys, if you felt it was helpful to have access to these notes that we've got here. Let me just find these notes for you. And we will drop that in the chat for you, because I wouldn't want you to feel like you have to kind of write loads and loads of notes during our time together. What I want to do is give you the chance to just enjoy. That should have gone into the chat. Okay, we'll do it. It doesn't work. So you might have to drop me your email address, and I will be more than happy to provide you with how each of these different things fit into school curriculum, because that's the whole point of our time together, is for you to understand how augmented reality and virtual reality can be used in your schools. But let's go straight into our slides together, and we will just screen share with you. Can you thumbs up if you can see the word Missional Generation on the screen? Fantastic. Okay, so I'm the founding director of Missional Generation. We're a charity in the North, and we have a vision to equip young people to become influential for God in all arenas of life. We believe the young people are the best communicators to communicate the gospel to their peers. And we believe that using technology is a great way, because of the Generation Z who are born into technology are constantly involved in using the screens. And we see the opportunity of smartphone devices and technology as a real tool to be evangelistic and to empower young people to be missional. And so we believe that if we can help strengthen the church to be at cutting edge of society and have young people center to leading that mission and evangelism vibe in their local context, we believe the church will grow confident in sharing the good news of Jesus in a digital generation. We've been using this Bible passage on a number of times throughout our recent year, but also in the context of why we are developing digital innovation to reach a generation. It says in Mark 16, verse 15, he said to them, "Go into all the world and preach digitally the gospel to all generation." We've added the word digitally in there because we want to encourage the church to start to utilize the digital arena, the digital spaces, the digital devices, because young people are constantly engaging with them in those settings all the time. And what we're going to do is, because we've already answered a little bit about where we are, if you would like to, feel free to answer this question by visiting that wonderful website code at the bottom, or feel free just to stick it in the chat. There's no need to feel like you have to jump onto another website if you're not familiar with that. If you would like to, we would love to just take a moment now and just see what your answers are to that question. What has been your experience of schools work today already? What has been your experience in schools work to date already? And I'm just going to flick over to my other web page so that if anyone did want to use that, we can show the responses, but there's no need to jump on a website for the sake of a new thing. But just use the chat feature, because it'd be interesting to find out what's been your experience of schools work already. I see some of you guys are typing, so I'll just give you a moment to do that. Great. So there's a small amount there. Assemblies, great. Nurture groups, fantastic. Storytelling, events and value days. That's brilliant. And any other comments, feel free to drop them in. I'm just going to put another question up on the screen for you so you can see the next question as we continue our time in this intro period. This is the next question, which I'd like to ask you. What do you hope to achieve in getting into schools again? What do you hope to achieve about getting back into the schools once again? as this is a helpful reflection for me to think about how in which what your hopes are for going back into the schools that you may be able to get back into, or you may struggle to get back into because of the relationship maybe has changed. Fantastic. Alex has written there, I work in primary schools as a teacher, but also would like to work more with my local primary schools in my role as a youth and children's worker. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Alex. You might find that some of your connections with the schools has changed because people's jobs have changed, or roles and responsibilities have been passed on to somebody else, or maybe they've realized that actually for the first couple of terms they don't want anyone coming into the schools because they're trying to add in various security procedures in place, which has obviously restricted us massively in connecting with secondary schools. Building relationships. Thank you very much, Ali. I appreciate that. Okay, keep using the chat feature. That's fantastic. And I'm just going to flow on to the next slide here. Lockdown has restricted direct youth work and children's work, but it has ignited youth-led digital innovation. I'm a big believer that I have seen some incredible creative ways that young people have led and taken a lead in organizing online activities for using Kahoot, Among Us and Minecraft. And we are seeing this kind of tenacity of excitement amongst the digital generation to start to use different ways to explore and provide space for conversation, but to also explore meaning of life and faith. And some of these young people have actually taken a lead in leading these activities and then bringing biblical reflections on the back of their activities. We've also seen this phrase really useful. Gamification leads to conversation. The idea of interacting through a game and then bringing a biblical narrative on the back of it has enabled the generation of young people that we've seen in lockdown and also before lockdown explore using virtual reality and augmented reality experiences to talk about the various different things and emotions and worries about the world that they have, but also talk about their personal, local and global Goliaths that are holding them back in their lives. And so gamification has been an absolute breath of fresh air for young people to be able to have games to play that leads to an open, honest conversation. University of Hull, if you are into some statistics and stats, there's a gaming system called Stream, which is basically an online gaming platform that allows people to develop and play games. They saw at the first 4 days of lockdown, University of Hull did some research that this online platform saw a 50% increase of people logging on for the first time. It went from 16 million to 24 million people logged online to do interactive with games. The reason for that is the online gaming experience combated the isolation problem of the pandemic that we had. We couldn't connect with our family and friends in the same way. So they looked for other means to interact, playing board games and online gamings and basically playing family meetups around various types of entertainment. So the online entertainment digital arena became a place to help build connection with people once again, which has got us thinking about this reflection. Moving with the technological times is key for the church to become intentional in reaching and connecting with the digital generation. We have to, as a church, look at the different things that they're engaging with, that they're finding fun activities and loving the online experiences or their smartphone experiences. And we have to ask the question, how do we reharness some of that screen time to be effective in allowing them to explore and talk about personal, local and global concerns, issues, and we believe the screen time can be reharnessed for the good news of Jesus. Generation Z uses technology all the time. They want to use various different things to explore their meaning of life, express their opinion. They see their online community as just as important as their offline community. And they have the opportunity of interacting with people quite regularly, more faster than they can send a text sometimes, because an expression of emoji through a various online experience talks about their deepest feelings. And we believe that we think that if we can reharness some of the ways that screen time is used, that will help us to start to see how a smartphone could become a tool in our resource box when we connect into secondary schools and secondary schools and primary schools. There's a huge spiritual hunger amongst our generation. They want to know the meaning of life. They click, swipe, tap to express themselves and to talk about various things that are important to them. Do you know what? If you have a smartphone in your hands right now, you are 50% away from using virtual reality and augmented reality to open up conversation. We just haven't unlocked the potential resource that's in our pockets. And hopefully in our time together, you'll start to see how we've harnessed VR and AR to help to feed that spiritual hunger amongst Generation Z and enabling them to explore true meaning of life. So let me explain to you what virtual reality and augmented reality is, because we've used it a few times. And let me just give you some examples of how the secular world are using it to communicate their brand. And we have the best brand in the world to communicate. It's not a brand, it's a transformational message. And that is Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. So what is augmented reality? Augmented reality is where you use a smartphone, just like this on the screen, where you bring things into your reality and interact with them through various types of gaming or play. Is there? You may have already seen Pokemon Go. Are there any Pokemon Go fans in the house? That's all right. I'm a Lone Ranger. Pokemon Go is an interactive game that uses augmented reality, that uses various different longitude and latitude experiences to find various characters, and then they can capture them, and then they can build their little kind of toolbox of characters. Augmented reality gives the user the ability to bring something into their context and look around 360 and have the opportunity to interact and play alongside learning and engaging in something that's different. And we've seen this have really helped support young people to particularly look at their faith. And we'll explain to you with some examples later. Virtual reality is where you use a smartphone using a Google Cardboard headset, like one of the ones that we have in our shop, or a virtual reality Oculus Quest, where you can get taken into a different reality that's not where you are, and you can explore and play and build and navigate through various different things that allows you to find sense of enjoyment and experience. And virtual reality has been a fantastic tool for us, where we've encouraged young people to see the virtual resurrection of Jesus, seeing Jesus risen from the dead for the first time, actually sitting inside the tomb and watching it take place. And you'll be able to see that example in a moment. I want to show you how the secular world are using virtual reality and augmented reality to communicate brand, make shopping a lot more experience, a lot more fun, and also using it for healthcare as well. I hate going to IKEA. I really don't like it, because when we go to IKEA, we buy something we don't want, we bring it home and it doesn't fit in my house, and I have to then build it or repair it or go and take it back. So augmented reality has really helped my shopping experience with IKEA, and let me show you what they've done with augmented reality.
Hey, IKEA would like everyone to know about Place, our new augmented reality app. Built on Apple's new AR kit, you can easily place true to scale 3D models of IKEA furniture in your place. Scan, browse, select, move, and place. So that could mean less of this. And less of this. And probably more of this. We want to make it easier for people everywhere to imagine a better place. Share this place. And this place. Try Place in your place.
What an amazing way to make shopping more enjoyable and more relevant for somebody like me who doesn't like going to IKEA and buying the wrong things. And I can then look at it beforehand and make sure it works. And therefore, my wife gets the best of my attitude when we're going to places like IKEA. Augmented reality has made it possible for the shopping experience for those who are lazy and don't want to waste time, that can engage with something, and they've used it to communicate their brand. Let me show you another example of what the secular world is doing using augmented reality. So virtual reality and augmented reality, this is how they're using it. I watched the most amazing experience of football with my son in the 2018 World Cup experience. And I had the chance to sit on the front line of the pitch and right next to the goal, seeing the football played. I watched it in virtual reality with my son using my Google Cardboard headset and a smartphone. It meant that I had the best experience in sport watching it as a supporter. Topshop uses it to communicate about how they can win competitions if you buy things from your shops, and then they can have the experience to watch one of their famous gigs in virtual reality. You've seen the IKEA one already. Mercedes. Now, I don't have that budget in my income to buy one of these Mercedes, but if the Mercedes was available for me, I would not want to sit and read a manual to find out what the problem is with my dashboard. I would scan my augmented reality app along the dashboard, tap the thing that's a problem, diagnose it, book it in for a service, head down there, job's done. All I needed to do is scan my phone and press a button. I didn't have to try and describe what the problem was. There was an opportunity for me to see augmented reality that made my experience more enjoyable. Felix, any cat lovers in the house? Any dog lovers in the house? Augmented reality are using it to attract people to their cat food. Felix have got this wonderful digital cat that comes around you. You can play it on the big screen in the shopping center, and you can interact and build a relationship with this cat for a few seconds, seeing it react with you and feeding it some augmented reality food. Why? Well, the next time you're on the shopping line looking at the cat food, you see Felix and go, hey, we had that fun time in the supermarket. Should we try it now for our cat? Maybe my cat will have a nice feeding time at home. And you buy into the brand because of entertainment that you've built a relationship with through that emotional connection. And they're using augmented reality to attract cat food to their cat lovers. The healthcare are using it for virtual reality to help those who are trying to train themselves before actually going into doing actual operations. And you can see in the image in the top left-hand corner, virtual reality is being used to train up people as they are building their skills as a doctor, as a surgeon. Down at the bottom, there's a shopping experience. I don't like going into shops because I don't want to be jumped by a shopkeeper. So if there's shopkeepers in the room or watching this, I personally just want that really relaxed moment of going in, checking other various things. But before that, I don't really want to go in a shop unless I know they've got something I'm going to want to wear. So augmented reality screens are happening outside shops. I stand in front of the shop, select some items, see if it looks good on me. I like it. I'll then go in and purchase it or even try it on. It allows me to not get pushed away from being worried about going to shops because I don't want to be jumped on by various shopkeepers to say, would you like some help? Augmented reality maps are being used because they are constantly on our smartphones walking around. So what they want to do is enable you to find your navigation around the routes using augmented reality. Again, it makes it easy for us to connect with our direction of where we want to go. Healthcares and as we said, have used it. But this lady here was during the lockdown, she really missed her art group. And so what she decided to do is engage with her art community using virtual reality. And that allowed her to still feel part of her her drawing community, but using virtual reality to do that. Glastonbury couldn't meet, so they moved online and did a virtual reality experience. That's my son learning how dinosaurs worked during homeschooling. We had lots of fun that day. We literally just played on VR and called it education. And what we see here is a gentleman who's just had an operation. They're using virtual reality to move and get the person actively moving to help them with their recovery. And so what we see here are so many positive examples of how virtual reality and augmented reality is being used in the secular world to help that feel of communicating a brand, but also the narrative of trying something and developing and becoming better when they've had various operations. It's a fantastic idea. Technology is being used. So how can the church use it to communicate faith, mission, and evangelism? During the lockdown, we had a number of conversations with youth workers and helped to train up young people and their chaplaincy teams and school teams to use how we can see digital and discipleship and mission become a tool for their school activities or their youth groups. Young people are confident in using digital and they are very comfortable in using it. It's an organic language for them. So we've been helping youth groups in churches and chaplaincies to see how the 8 examples we're going to show you in a minute has been part of a great experience during lockdown for them to talk about their faith, but also for the young person to realize that they can disciple their peers by leading these activities in their online experiences or in their classrooms as a form of discipleshiping, discipling with one another. And then they've started to recognize how this is an opportunity for mission for particular Christian young people who run in Christian CUs or young people in our youth groups that want to be more confident about sharing their faith in schools. They can then see this as a missions tool where they can use it at seasonal times of the year. For instance, our Christmas resource that we had, the pandemic hit us. We couldn't run Christmas experiences in schools. So we trained up chaplaincies and youth workers to see, and children's workers to see how they could lead this in their Zoom times. And we saw young people in a church in Ireland run this in their boarding school, and they led this experience around their different classrooms. And we're going to see this example in a moment. So let's go through some examples for you. And as I said, each of these different examples that we have are looking at virtual reality and augmented reality. And there is a little PDF that if you stick your email address in the chat, I will send you an email that shows you how it fits in RE and how it can be used in schools. It will basically be this looking form. So you'll get an example of how it can be used in schools, how it can be used in youth groups. And if you find that useful, send me an email at the, so just put your email address in the chat or send me an email to ben@missionalgen.co.uk and we will send those to you. But let's give you an example of this. You've already seen the Easter resurrection experience, okay? And let me just share another little video with you that explains a little bit more about it as we explore it together. This Easter, use our augmented reality cross and resurrection experience to help your children and young people explore the powerful message of Easter. There are 2 augmented reality experiences and they both have craft-related activities and a Bible devotion attached to them on the reverse side of the card. And so what we have here is 2 augmented reality experiences. I've got these cards for you. These come in our digital takeaway box, which you can order. And because you've joined our session, you get a discount code at the end of the session. In the box are 2 augmented reality cards. These are the trigger cards, but you can also visit our website and download them and print them out of PDFs. Or if you wanted to, you could use your iPad and scan your screen and it will work if you keep it on the table. On the back of these cards, as I said, there are craft-related activities and devotions that helps you explore further with your young people and children, whether that's in schools or youth groups. They're also a great opportunity for your families to play with them, enjoy them, and then post them to your neighbors as an evangelistic way to encourage young people about this idea of sharing the Easter message. All you do is you put the card on the table, use a smartphone using MGAR app, scan it, and away you go. And you just select the button you want to see because there's a little menu on the left-hand side and the menu signifies with what's on the card. That is our Easter experience that is absolutely free for you to use, and you can print them off and email it out and post it out as much as you want. There's no license attached to it at all. It's free to enjoy. Now, let me show you the next one that we said that we have for you is the virtual resurrection experience. This uses our virtual reality headset. So I'll just show you what that is. This is this headset here. You put your smartphone in on the side like this, and then you halfway, depending on if you are long or short-sighted, and you can change the way that it fits by using the Velcro strap there, stick it on your head, and you look around and you can actually stand inside and outside the tomb and see Jesus being risen from the dead. And what we decided to do for this one is utilize the idea of the light of Christ. Jesus is the light of the world. And so you will see in a moment on the example that you're standing outside the tomb, and on the left-hand side of the tomb, there is a table with Jesus' body on there. The body disappears, a bright light appears, and the tomb door rolls open. We decided not to have this kind of body walking out of the tomb because that communicates horror and virtual reality for young people and children. They think it's a scary thing and they don't want to see something that's moving across the screen. So what we've done is we've signified the light of the world, which is Jesus Christ, coming out of the tomb and into the world. And you can see that example now when I screen share with you. Here we go. The experience lasts for about 3 minutes long, and we are revamping it with a voiceover of some spoken words that allows them to feel and explore the experience more by listening to some spoken word outside the tomb, inside the tomb, and then back outside the tomb. And you see the word "He is risen." And again, that can be accessed through our digital takeaway box. And it's a free app to download, and all they need is a VR headset to run with that, and they come in the box, which we'll tell you again about that later. Let me give you the next example. Okay, here we go. So next one. This is the Good Samaritan. We use the familiar style of Minecraft to help build this kind of experience. And you're going to see a little example of this. This is a great way for it to fit in secondary school and primary school RE curriculum again. Here we go.
There was once a man who was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when robbers attacked him, stripped him, and beat him up, leaving him half dead.
Just a quick example there for you. Again, like we said, that when I send out the PDFs, this will explain how they fit in RE curriculum, how that fits in youth groups and school groups. So this is very available for you. We can email that out to you so you can see how it fits in, but it fits well within the Understanding Christianity as RE looks at this idea of the good Samaritan, but also it looks at great for citizenship. So you can talk about what does it mean to be a good citizen in our school? How do we become a caring person in our neighborhood? Who are those around us that are in need? What's our voice and what's our response to the issues that are in the world that are causing people harm or difficulty? And it's a great way for you to open up those conversations using a smart device in the activity itself. This is the Lord's Prayer. Again, it looks at the idea of the different points of the Lord's Prayer, and you can see it's in virtual reality, so you can look all the way around. And let's just give you an example of what that looks like.
Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be your name.
Your kingdom come, your will be done.
On earth as in heaven.
What we have here is the Lord's Prayer in typography, where you've got the words in front of you, you've got images left and right of you, and then you've got some other symbols that are happening around you. This is a great way for us to communicate why Christians believe prayer is important and how prayer can help us in a relationship with God, but also to be a representative of who God is to the world by the words of these prayers. It's a great way for collective worship, for drop-down days, for school ethos days, if you're looking at it from a Christian perspective. This helps us explore the meaning of prayer for why Christians pray at various times of the year, but also it could just be an RE lesson on prayer itself. Okay, this is the next one. This is the church tour. We video in 360, so we have the facility to video in 360 VR and edit and create the content for you in your own local church if you wanted to have a local expression of what church looks like. But this shows you on an example of how prayer, baptism, worship, communion is essential to who we are as Christians in our church.
You're currently standing at our font, and our font is positioned at the back of the church to continue the custom of the Old Testament, where children would have been baptized at the back of the temple and then brought to show the parishioners at the front.
And again, using our virtuality headset, you control where you want to look. So you can look left, you can look right, you can look up, you can look down. You have the freedom to control the direction of your site just using your smartphone, slide it in the side, and then you download the app, which is part of the resource that allows you to explore that. This is a great way for young people to actually get into church, but also a fantastic way right now for if the church is not allowed to have groups visit their churches, you can take a virtual reality experience of the church into their context, and using the devices that we have and the headphone, the smartphones and the VR headsets, because we can visit with you in your church. We have the ability, or in your schools, to run these activities using our 15 smartphones, our 15 headsets, and we have a big inflatable experience that we bring down if that works, or we sit in the corner and run these activities with you. So if you're asking the question, well, what does it look like for us to have smartphones in schools? We bring the smartphones for you into those schools, and we can explore a little bit about how that helps you later as we finish our session. I'm going to just show you a few more examples. This is David versus Goliath. This is an example of a young person who made this with us as a digital innovator, but also it helps young people to articulate about their personal, local and global Goliaths and what's their voice in those areas of concern.
I've made an augmented reality game called David vs. Goliath AR on the mobile smartphones. This is how you play. You hold it in front of you and you open the app. You have right in front of you an imaginary portal/door. You walk through it and then you can collect the stones as if you were David himself. So as soon as you walk through the door, you pick up the stones, you swipe up to fling the stones at Goliath, and if you hit him right in the head, he dies one-shot kill. I think this app is a great way to start up conversations about personal, local and global Goliaths in our world.
So what we have there is Vlad joined us on team. He had the passion to develop digital innovation. He wanted to see his YouTube channel grow with subscribers. And we said to you, Vlad, what about if we change the narrative? What about if we encourage you to use your digital innovation skills and bring about a Bible story and bring it alive and use that as a means to interact with people about personal, local and global concerns, and where do they have their voice and what's their stand on that? And so this is a great way for young people to understand from a biblical perspective some of their attitudes and responses to things like global warming global crisis that we're seeing, the global warming issue, or other things locally to them. They see this from a biblical story that David stood with confidence and declared something that was not right against the Goliath. And how do we encourage young people to stand on godly culture, to be a voice in their context? And so that was a great experience of Vlad using his digital innovation with us over a year, and he's now at university exploring more with us, and we're encouraging further his great skills. This is our Christmas resource. You may have seen it last year. We also, if we've got time, we're going to share the sneaky peek of our new Christmas resource that we have made ready for us this coming Christmas. But this allows you to bring alive 12 revelations of Christmas. This is what we use to help train chaplaincies and school leaders in boarding schools to use this during the pandemic. And also parishes hid these around their communities and shops and along street corners using augmented reality geocache experiences to bring about 12 different elements of the Advent story. And we're going to show you one example. As you saw on the screen there, those cards were the augmented reality cards. The smartphone, when you have put it over the top, it triggers a present. You tap it 3 times and it brings open a scene. Each scene has the biblical story with some music connected to it that enables them to journey through the different points of those 12 revelations. There's also a booklet that goes alongside them with 12 craft activities that helps you to run these as a rotation activity around the hall in schools or in youth groups and children's groups, or open church like messy church experiences that you can have at Christmas. There is also a Bible reflection on the back of each devotion as well. And that's a gift that it's the resource that's part of the digital takeaway box. And it's a gift that you can give out to members in your church at Christmas as well. And now I'm going to show you another one experience. This is the testimonies experience. So in the RE curriculum, they look at what does it mean for a Christian to have a faith relationship in Jesus. And so this is our time travel devotion resource. This allows young people to look at somebody's story using augmented reality in a devotion booklet. And they go back in time to their 14-year-old self and they talk to their 14-year-old self as if they could encourage them to think differently about their life circumstances, having known about the real true message of who Jesus is as an adult. And this is just an example of one of those videos.
I grew up in church and my dad is a vicar. So I was always aware of God and had an awareness of who God was. But then at about the age of 8, which I know sounds really young, I was like, oh, I can't just be a Christian because my parents are. And at the age of 8, I made a commitment to Jesus to follow him.
And this booklet, as you can see, is in the box itself. And if you were to go through the pages, you'll see anywhere there's an image like this, you scan and it will bring up a video. And then it goes on with devotions on the back of it as a way of helping those in your youth groups or children's groups to understand a little bit more about why it's important to have a faith relationship. That's obviously aimed at sort of the lower end of secondary school and upper end of secondary school. So you could use that in any of the RE curriculum experiences, and looking at testimony about why prayer, why relationship with Jesus has changed somebody's life. And that's a great example to use in the schools experience. I don't know if you saw this resource that went out last year, Thy Kingdom Come. If anyone used it, give us a wave. We are building their next Thy Kingdom Come resource. And what we are doing right now is we're building 11 new augmented reality experiences using video animations, using the Cheeky Pandas story. And we've designed that experience for them. And you might have seen this video last year with the AR experiences. As you can see, that was an example of the different activities for Thy Kingdom Come, and we are building their next resource to help them explore again another year of prayer at this time in May. I think it is. It's coming out in May. Just want to share with you a quick overview of some of the things that you have looked at today. And as you can see, these are the various different experiences that you've looked at. Augmented reality, David versus Goliath, the lost sheep, which is in the Thy Kingdom Come resource, the Good Samaritan, which is in at the beginning with the Minecraft field that we've provided, the 12 Revelations of Christmas experience using augmented reality. We've also made the New Wine experience that happened last summer, and we're building their new wine experience for this summer's conference that you might have seen some of their conversations that are happening on digital at the moment. Virtual reality, we've got the resurrection experience, we've got the Lord's Prayer, we've got the church tour. And then when we visit with you guys, we've got 360 photographs of Christmas trees, asking the question, what is the message that's been shared at Christmas? And you'll see that a lot of it's all about the commercial God. Actually, what we want to talk about is the Christian God, the one who we follow at Christmas, who comes into our lives. What we've got here is just some examples of seeing this at work in schools. We come in, we bring the virtual reality experience, the augmented reality experience, we bring the VR headsets, we bring the smartphones, the headphones, and we allow those young people, whether that's on a round rotation of classes throughout the day, or whether we're in a RE lesson, or whether we're at your youth groups running this experience. We are prepared to support you in your local context. When we visited before the lockdown hit us, we did some conversations with young people who took part. Just take a moment to read some of these infographics that we had here. We asked 176 young people how virtual reality helps Generation Z explore the Christian faith. And we had that there was this understanding, there was a wonder, there was an interest of the Christianity message, which 94 said, yes, I'm interested to want to know more about what Christians believe. And then we said, did the VR session help you find more about what the Christian faith is? And they said, out of the 176, 83 said, yes, this was really helpful, and I was intrigued to want to know more. What was exciting is that we asked the same number of young people, 176, that if your local youth group had this experience, whether that's AR or VR in their day-to-day youth group sessions, would you attend one-off or regularly? And what we had is 124 out of 176 said, yes, I would want to attend regularly or one-off to see more about the Christian faith if there was done in that interactive technological way. And that gave us a real confidence in seeing that digital innovation can and will reach a generation with the good news of Jesus. As we said, we've got you the hands-on experience that we want you to be able to play with in your local context. If I was there with you right now, we'd be downloading the app right now. We'll be giving out these cards to you. You'll be able to then explore this incredible Easter message right there in your local context. But if you wanted to, you could do that right now. I'm just going to put in the chat that website again, so that if you haven't had a chance to, you can jump online and download that experience. Just make sure I'm doing it to everybody. There we go. This is the free Easter resource. And when you click on that website, you scroll down just above the Android and Apple symbol. There's a little blue button, and that's where you would click to download these cards. And they are fully available to you. You get exactly what you see on the screen right now for your enjoyment. And then I just thought it'd be helpful for you to see from the voice of young people what they have said about the experiences that we have run in youth groups and in school groups. Just take a moment just to have a look over this. And then if there's any questions, we're going to open up the room to have a quick conversation with you now about what questions you have. But these are some thoughts and comments from the young people itself. And again, I'm going to be making that slide available to you in our email to you, so you can enjoy reading those a bit further. But before our time runs out, I want to make sure you have the discount code to be able to jump onto our shop and explore our digital takeaway combo box. That gives you everything you've seen in the examples I've shown you. You can use the code 15%. So MG15 will give you 15% off the cost of our digital combo, and allows you to then explore in your own context everything you've seen. You get a virtual reality headset. You don't get a mobile phone, by the way. You get a virtual reality headset. You get all of the AR and VR experiences. You also get a discount to me coming into your local context to do a VR and AR pop-up gathering. It allows me to support you and train you. I bring down all the tech and I train you up ready to go into your local context. It also gives you a discount for me to come into schools with you as well. It is an absolute bargain for you to make use of that. And the details are on the screen once again. To use the discount code, you just go into the shop and type in MG15, and that will be one way. And you can get to the shop by doing www.missionalgen.co.uk/shop. And it's quite self-explanatory from there. It's the first item on the list. Well, that's the end of my presentation for you guys. And it's been an absolute joy to spend time with you and interact with you on our conversation. Again, if we're in the local context, we'd have a whole load more fun. We'd have a whole load of virtuality booths, an inflatable experience for you to stand in and walk and see Jesus risen from the dead. So I apologize that we haven't been able to do that in this current situation. But do keep an eye on our social media feed by following us on any of these platforms to give you the chance to see where we are visiting and who we are connecting with. And if you are engaging with Thy Kingdom Come, please look out for that. And if you are wanting to know more about the new Christmas resource that we have for you, just because I want to give space for conversations at the moment, I'm more than happy to do a little one-on-one with you on Zoom. And this is it. Here is the Christmas resource. And we are using the exciting augmented reality gingerbread house. And I will show you on the screen. Here we go. Just going to screen share with you the resource so you can see firsthand what it is. Here we go. Share the screen. So what we've got here is using the iconic gingerbread house idea. And what we're looking to do is build an augmented, well, we actually have built an augmented reality gingerbread house with 5 different activities that looks at 5 different characters of the story. The angel, Mary, Joseph, the wise men, sorry, the shepherds, the wise men, and looking at play and interact and reflect. That's our rhythms, is play, interact, and reflect. And we are looking at also providing you with the chance to have beautiful animated experiences of the story. And I will just give you a little sneak of what it looks like. Let me just make sure I have shared the sound, because there's a slight sense that I might not have done. There we go. Yes, I have. This is, these are designed, animated, and once you've played one game, you unlock an animated video.
Like all great moments in history, this one begins with an unlikely character. An angel, in fact. You see, this particular messenger is about to deliver the greatest news of all time. And Gabriel here, well, he's the one chosen by God to deliver this news, to tell Mary the news that will change her life and everyone's life forever. This mighty character is an important part of the story. But so is the girl he's delivering the message to. Let's go and meet her.
And there are 5 different experiences linked to those videos. So you've got the augmented reality play, you've got the video that is to watch, and then during the activities itself, in this booklet, we have created the chance for you to color in your own gingerbread house and make your own gingerbread house in a 3D and then put it on top of a card. And these are basically Christmas cards that you can post to young people that they can do at home, in their schools, in their youth groups, children's workers groups. They read the devotion that's linked to the first activity. They then cut out the AR house and make their own, cut out the gingerbread house and put it on their card. And then they can scan the AR image, which is in here, which is a simple image of a gingerbread house. And that triggers on the table all of the AR experiences. And I'll be more than happy to share with you how that works on a one-to-one with you guys as we get closer to Christmas. I know Easter's only just started, but Christmas is on its way, I know. So please think about augmented reality at Christmas. So we've got a few moments now. I'm going to open up the room to you guys to have questions. So if there's any question you've got, please unmute yourself now and let's just have a quick chat about that. I'm going to save the chat now. So if you haven't put your email address in, please put it in now, and I'm going to save it so that I can email you all of the slides and also arrange a time to meet with you on our Christmas resource. Fantastic. Great. Any questions at all? Yes, Alex.
Hey Ben, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing that today. I mean, I'm very interested in how, with both my hats on in terms of at school and the RE lead at our primary school, so this sounds great for RE lessons, but also as a youth minister, children's minister, trying to work with our local schools. So just wondering, how much would it cost to hire you for the day coming to a primary school?
Yeah, so we have a set fee that we know we would like to ask groups and churches to and schools to reach, but we're also open to relationship and conversation of longevity. So I wouldn't want to say this is what the price is at the moment, but it wouldn't be unreachable if you were to pay the price. But if you actually wanted us to be regularly consistent in your schools over a number of times throughout the seasonal time of the year, that's obviously a very different agreement that we want to put with you. We do visit a number of times in schools in Leeds and in Bradford, and doing regular weekly to once a month. So it could vary from a single payment to a agreement over the year. We are open to conversation more than an invoice relationship. That's a really key thing for us is journey with your budget and work out what's suitable for you.
Brilliant.
Any other questions? I think, did somebody have one? No. I think what I want to make sure is you can run these in your school using the smartphone linked to a projector, and you can run it even if you've got one device in the school. You can also run it with multiple devices if you have a school that has the ability to run iPhones, iPads, or other devices that can do AR. You obviously can't use a virtual reality experience with an iPad because that doesn't work. But the idea of connecting a device to a projector that allows one young person to come to the front, scan a card, the whole room sees the experience, and then they can rotate that round as a way forward. That's another way to you to see how the kind of smartphone can be used in schools. But like I said, we do visit and help you to do that with you guys. Before we finish, I want to give one more chance for any more questions before I just pray for you guys, because I want to make sure that you are prayed for through your connections with the schools. Okay, let me pray for you. Father, we thank you so much for these ambassadors of the kingdom of God in their local context, whether that's in a parish, whether that's in schools, whether that's reaching primary or secondary. Thank you so much, God, that you have called these guys to be people of influence, to communicate the message of who Jesus is and what Jesus means to the world. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that these guys have had before the pandemic of getting into the schools. And we pray that some of the digital innovation that we've shown can open up those conversations, Lord, to give them a fresh wind of support to schools. Lord, we pray that where schools are working out who should come in and which group should connect with them, Father, I pray something in this digital narrative will be an opportunity for them to find their opportunity to serve the school and bring a positive message of the good news of you into their context. Bless these guys, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much for putting your details in the chat. We will reach out to you guys later in the week, next week, to give you all the details that we've had. This is now looking like I have got 176 seconds left before you guys move out into the room. So feel free to leave or hang around for a few more moments to ask me any questions. I will stay here and just make sure you guys got the chance to ask any questions. But if not, we'll see you guys another time. God bless.